Alright, I think I fixed it now. So, I think we're all good now. Yeah, little details. Yeah, don't change some of the settings for your stream before you start the stream, or it tends to send you in a loop and you don't know where you were supposed to be. So I'm a minute late. But anyway, I didn't break it, but it is getting a little the dirty side, so I've got it apart. I'm going to redo the differentials front and rear. Work on putting the sway bars on. A whole sway bar kit to put on. And then there's supposed to be ways to stiffen the suspension. One of them is you take these. See, I hope it doesn't come out backwards for you guys, but that's 5341X. You take those and you run them across from here to here, and that's going to take that slop you get on the rear end out. And then there's going to be a way to tie the front and the rear. So this bit here is going to sit like that. And then we're going to tie this upper mount to this screw hole here. By doing that, it'll get rid of all of that, or a good amount of that wobble. But mind you, it's not bolted together, so that's where some of that's coming in. A little paint goes a long way. Clean the drive shaft up. You can paint it. I painted it nice and chrome. Hello, Tony. Welcome in. So I know for you guys on the left coast, because I'm on the right, it's already fairly late, probably about 10 o'clock. I don't think I'll be actually streaming very long. I don't know. I might do this as a two-part. So some tonight and some tomorrow, and just leave it all up on the bench and hope the animals don't spread it around. I did have to go to work today, and I had a pretty long night. But if you guys want to bring up any topics, let me know. I have my phone going too, so I can see the comments and see the stream, and I'll know what you guys want to talk about. Well, welcome in. Sorry to see you leave so quick, Tony. I get it, though, if it's late. Yeah. I know I waited a pretty long time to start the stream because I didn't work very long today, but I did have to go to the hobby shop and start taking measurements and whatnot, because I only have 2 pre-made tie rods. So I got a package of the ends, and up here are assorted tie rods. This one has titanium ones. This one just has old Traxxas stuff in it, but it's full of the top. So I should be able to find more of these little turnbuckles into that stuff. Yeah, I'm wasting more time talking than anything else. So, hi, Hot Rod. How you doing? Hot Rod, did you want to be a moderator? I know I got Big John in here too, but not everybody's gonna have every kind of hours. Let me know. I'm not gonna force you to, so I won't click on that until you're ready to tell me. And I can return the favor. Ryan, what's up? Welcome in. If you feel you don't want it later on, let me know. I don't blame you. Either way. But I would appreciate it. This is only the second live stream I've done on YouTube. So here in YouTube, I got to worry about trolls and all those characters that are no fun to worry about. The other live streams I've done on Instagram. And on Instagram, yeah, it's not so bad. At some point, I hope to get a real webcam, because right now, it's just whatever the cell phone is, so. Yeah, trolls are bad on YouTube. I know what it's like to be a moderator. There's a news channel that I hang out in quite a bit when they're on, especially that I'm a moderator in. You might notice I'm tired. I wish I had other reasons, but I'm just tired. So I'm kind of stumbling words. But yeah, the trolls get bad. Even if you put it on subscriber mode, it's pretty awful. So, like I said, I do appreciate you in here. Or if I haven't said it, I know K-Pop's doing one. Nitro's sitting in Sherry's stream. RC84's got his going too. So there's a couple different streams going on. And I suppose I could bring one up and watch it on my phone while I'm here, but I mean, we all know how YouTube would be about that. They would more than likely give me some sort of copyright strike. That actually doesn't look too bad. It's definitely crusty though. Did he pass out on his bench, Nitro? And the way he streams all the time, I wouldn't be in the least bit surprised. Okay, it'll only let me put it in one way, so I can't get it wrong. In theory, I suppose if I tried harder, I probably could. But yeah, bring up some topics in chat. I know it's not like StreamYarding or Zoom or anything like that. No, he's got the little monster eating, huh? She is adorable, I'll say that. We're trolling. What are we trolling for? And like I said, I mean, I'll figure the streaming stuff out enough to put up StreamYard at some point. I'm supposed to have tomorrow off, according to all that paperwork. So, oh, yeah, he does do that. You control mine, though. And there is a reason I put on these lives that no kids. Okay, with Kelly, I'm not gonna go into it too much because, like, I don't want to get that involved. To be quite honest, I don't watch the man's channel. I don't want to start a fight between him and I for no reason. Any of his subscribers or anything, any of that kind of. I have enough real life bullshit. I don't want to create any YouTube stuff. And the only thing I'll say on that, dude, don't. If you're gonna snack in a live tube or live YouTube because it's a long YouTube, yeah, we get it. You can snack, you can drink, you can pause the microphone, use the restroom, whatever. But shoveling the food into your face and letting it kind of run, come on now. But that's like all I have to say on it. You guys are welcome to talk amongst yourselves on it. I'm not monetized, so I don't think you can hurt YouTube's feelings too bad at this point. But we'll find out, I guess. That's all I have to say on it. Because we all have to learn how to deal with YouTube. Cyclone, hi. Welcome in. I wasn't trying to ignore you, just making sure to finish my point before old age took over and the thought went away. So, axle down. It looks like a gutted fish now, all laid open. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys want to know why I do YouTube. Some people don't care. Some people care too much. Some people don't want to hear it. Let me know. If you want to hear it, I can tell you. It's pretty easy. It's pretty basic why. I mean, you can pretty much see it and see what I'm doing and figure it out. How did I get into RC? So, back in 1989, my parents were buying me Tycos left and right. I always grew up a tomboy. Dad was a mechanic and a race driver, had a bracket car, drag race car. So that stuff naturally kicked in, naturally took over. I got into racing. And then in 94, I happened to notice a nice little place in Orange County by the name of SoCal RC Raceway. And they were literally blocks away from where I lived. Kind of like it is where I live now versus where Hobbytown and my work is. Just literally a couple streets away. 2 years after that, my parents got me a Stampede. Things are falling down. that if I move this and that is a 1996 Traxxas Stampede with a slash chassis. Because somebody gave me a slash chassis for free, so I made it bigger. But I raced that for a very long time. In actual race truck in novice class, in stadium truck. And about a year and some small change after I had gotten the truck and I was racing it and whatnot. I got that truck into the A main, and there was a full 20 people. So a full 20 people in novice class, and I put a Traxxas Stampede in the A main. And they told me, well, that's cool, but we're not going to let you run the Stampede in the race. What we're going to do is we're going to give you the house double X truck, rental truck, and you're going to run that. Our batteries, our truck, our radio, it's all brand new electronic stuff. There wasn't anything, you couldn't get cruddy electronics back then. You couldn't go get a $10 servo. You had to actually get a real servo because there wasn't in 90s. In 90s, you either bought real stuff or you didn't. And I was running that. I was in second place, and then I came down, hit a pipe, and I split the back end. I didn't hit the pipe hard. I just kind of tapped it, but rental truck. And it broke. But since I had gotten it all the way up to second and first place was right in front of me, the track actually put together a donation box. So they were taking in donation, stuff like that, where I actually, they bought my race truck, and I started racing. That's kind of how I started racing. I always had some sort of RC car. So you guys might be familiar with the little RC28s that are patterned off of the RC10s as far as visuals. Back when I was small, I had one of those where it went forward and then reverse in a right turn. I don't know if you guys know about that, but I had one of those, and that was my first RC car. And I was 3, barely knew don't suck on the tires. I'd barely gotten out of that phase. So that's how I got into RC, and ever since then, I've been stuck. I've been hooked on it. No reason not to race, not to play around, any of that stuff. And then why I do YouTube, simply put, I was going to be doing this anyway. Or if I'm not doing this, I would be doing work on the full-size cars. I got alternators buried beneath me you can't see. So if I'm going to be working on stuff, meh. That's my new radio. It's an M11. It's the only one I have, 2.4. The only one besides the buggies and my little enduro truck. Just about everything else is ran on the M8. And it has a Novak switch. So, dial a frequency. But John, just so you don't think I'm a spoiled brat, never had to deal with the hassles of crystals and all that horse hockey, that came on red. This is 72 FM crystal, and it runs my white boat that's up there. 1989 Traxxas Villain. Almost all stock besides the radio gear. If you go on some of my other videos, because they're upstairs, but I do have a chassis RC10, legit stamped stamped chassis, and a friend of mine helped me find a XL2P Aerotronics radio, which is the first radio I had with my double X race truck that works. So I still have a working Aerotronics XL2P, and yeah, it's fun to have. It is a blast to use those old radios. I just have to be very careful where I use them because there's a lot of freeways by my house. Like less than a mile away from me is the 41. Fair amount of trucks go past on it. I am closer to the mountains where the 41 ends, so I don't have as much problems with it. But time to time, yeah. Time to time, I get a little glitch. I didn't have an A stamp. I didn't have an RC10 growing up. Everything was Losi in my Traxxas or Losi. So I actually had to buy this one off of eBay a couple of years back. And I did that because MT, who was one of the guys who was employed at SoCal, he would let me run his RC10 buggy when I was running my Stampede and when I was running my Losi. And just to have one, I found that one, it was $110 shipped. A stamp, 6 gear, but somebody stripped all the anodized off. So I painted it purple. It's fine. Ed, John, do you remember that the Futaba Magnum Jr. was actually Traxxas's first pistol grip radio? So at Stampede in 96 came with a pistol grip radio, and it was dead nuts at Traxxas radio. I mean, it just, somebody scratched the sticker off for Futaba and put a Traxxas sticker on it. That's all they did. So I do remember that. I've had that. So those days are gone. I don't have a working one anymore, but that's okay. I do have that stick radio for one of my boats. One of the two. Yeah. So they do get a lot of interference, especially if you start using CB crystals with them, which is a no-no, children. The FCC will get in your face about it. Not that it makes a difference. It's the truckers messing with you, but their game, not ours. So we can only play it. But yeah, it glitches something fierce when you use CB crystals. But you can use them. They are 27 band. They won't work for 75 band, but if you have an old 27 AM radio, you can do it. I don't recommend it. Not unless you live in the sticks. And by sticks, I mean there's not even anybody around with a semi-truck, because that'll start messing with it. But you can still have fun with all the old stuff. I mean, I might have shown you guys this before, but I still like brushed motors. I mean, I do still like brushed motors. Power lines, nuclear power plants really tend to mess with them, stuff like that. Anything that's large RF interference. But I have a diamond bit equipped actual motor lathe. I still use it. My seals, I use O-rings for the belts, and it still works just fine. So if I ever get a 10 scale crawler and it has a brushed motor in it that has the 5 com armature, then I'll be able to cut them, and I won't have to worry as much about buying a motor all the time. Yeah, I know it's like, what, $30 these days, as opposed to stock motors used to be $60. I think it was. But brush lathe or armature lathe, brush cutter, the old Tec motor holder with the actual timing marks in it. And back before the invention of the lithium, that was how you balanced batteries. So you'd put it on there and wait for all the little flashy lights to stop flashing. So yeah, I have all kinds of the old school stuff. So I'm one of those that if I could ever find enough people with older cars, we could all have some fun together. Yeah, and that would be honestly a blast. Just get a whole bunch of old double X or older buggies, trucks, and just go out and bash. Something I see asked a lot in hobby shops, online, everywhere else. What do you use to clean your RC cars? Well, that's what I use to clean my RC cars. I don't have a sponsorship. I might get a little discount at work, but that's because I'm working, and it's not from the company. So YouTube, not paid advertisement, but this stuff right here, kids, don't be short. Polycarbonate body. It literally gives no cares. It won't take the paint off. So, QD electrical cleaner from CRC. It's very good to use around RC cars, gas or electric. You can hit the body like I just did, and you don't have to worry about if the body's going to get freaked out. The electronics don't mind it. So yeah, use that stuff. Back when SoCal was open and was doing business as a racetrack, they used to sell this. But they sold it in a can that was that big, like, your standard spray paint can. But instead of it saying QD, it said motor quench. So I knew what it was because I've shot it and been like smelling it, going, wait, I know that smell. So, which CR lube, John? Because there's actually, I think there's quite a few. There's like a white lithium. There's all kinds. Like, there's not just one silly kind. Speaking of silly kinds, 3 different bearings. 1 bearing for the pinion, 1 bearing for that side, and 1 bearing for that side, and they're all different. That's a Ford thing. Let's make them all different. World Design Committee. Electric dry lube in a blue can. I will have to look that up online because I don't think we sell it at AutoZone. Oops, I messed up. My opinions do not represent the AutoZone and its affiliates. Covered. But yeah, now that cat's out of the bag, that's where I work. I'll talk to my commercial guy and see if he has it. He's going to be the one that knows. Oh yeah, I imagine spraying that stuff on the floor would make for one heck of an ice skating rink. Especially if you had nice, polished concrete. I imagine that you would go flying off into Never Never Land with that. That almost sounds like no fun. On the other hand, when I was younger, I'm sure that would be great fun. I believe I met you in Nitros, but I think, never mind, I looked at it. Probably because Big John's done it before. It'd be my guess. Or I had somebody do it to him. Could be my other guess. On the floor in the kitchen. Tell me you were lubricating the hinges in the oven with the highly flammable grease. Like, I assume we've all done at one point in time. Something silly like that. Yeah, right? I'll be fine. And then you end up having to do stuff like me and get back surgery. Because you landed on yourself and such. A 5th scale car in the kitchen. You're single, aren't you? Look, I know for sure if I ever could afford a 5th scale car. Look, I got too many full-size ones. And I brought it into the kitchen or even an engine block. My hubby would have conniptions. Oh, lucky you. I have a LT1 outside sitting in its Chevrolet engine, right? And it needs to come apart and get rebuilt anyway and whatnot. And I was telling Telling my husband, I'm like, I could just make a table out of that, right? Couple of pistons and rods, put them straight down, and then put a piece of wood over the top. 69 Nova. So what's in your 1969 X body? Because that's the other language I speak other than RC car. Which is why I work at an auto parts store. Yeah, how many RC YouTubers do you know that can reach straight down and pull out? I'm going to guess this is power steering line, judging from how much it's wrapped. Transmission oil cooler line. Yeah, power steering line. $540. So that's a Redrick motor, I believe they pronounce it. All by itself block, all by itself heads. It's rat motor in name and architecture only. Other than that, there's not a GM piece on it besides maybe the valve covers if you want to dress it up like it should be. You do the math on mine, it's 462 cubic inches on my El Camino. I think it's 30 over. It's not stroked, but it has early 101 cc heads. Yeah, Merlin heads. Yeah, those are good too. You ever heard of those Aries Hemis head for the big blocks? That just sounds like way too much money. Those work too. Well, I didn't imagine they were GM covers. I just don't know if GM covers would fit. But being Merlin heads, probably not. Probably have to use a Merlin valve cover. Should be cast aluminum, no doubt. 740 at the flywheel. And depending on the lift and duration of that cam, probably close to 800 foot-pounds of torque. I hope you caged that thing. Otherwise, it's just going to pop. You'll be like a Vega. One door won't open, the other door won't shut, and there's this crack across the windshield. Hey, GM, how you doing? Okay. I'm just sitting here playing with my ball bearings. This is why I click on the no, stream's not meant for kids. Underage pre-adults. We're overage children here. At least I know I am. Keep dropping opinion. Alright. I know what I am. I can face it. I am nothing more than a very large child of sorts. But I'm good with that. Okay, GM, come back in. I might have a stream up tomorrow, depending on if I get, yeah, that done. Take care, sweet dreams and all. You mean back to front, because if you build one and you put a big motor with a smaller end in it, you better know how much you plan on putting in the front to build the rear, and then the drive shaft, and then if it's a drag race car, you're either using a Lenco or a Power Glide, maybe a 400. In case you're wondering, no, I'm not like Googling the answers for you. It's right off the top of my head. Well, I meant transmission. I learned with the El Camino because I busted the drive shaft because I had too much torque in the engine coming out for the stock drive shaft. Just ate itself. Of course, half the problem was the X made me mad, so I know way too much about engines. I am one of those who will build their own motor. Not knocking you, not judging you. I grew up in that environment. This is what I did when I wasn't dropping bearings on the ground. Of course, it's way back. It's like coming up for air. Everybody has to have their gearhead. Everybody has to have a gearhead to look up to. Somebody to answer the question they don't know the answer to. I have gearheads I go to. I'm not the end all. I'm not the end all be all. All I know is what's stuck from my dad. Everything else, I have to learn. Like these newfangled Honda things. And bump sticks up top, and there's two of them. And these little oil switch thingies to make them all move. That sounds overcomplicated to me. What happened just having one bump stick in the center? I guess because a lot of people were turning their push rods like this. I've done it. I've bent quite a few push rods. Just destroyed them. Yes, that is going in there. It's gonna have a roommate though. Harley engines, yeah. $327s, yep. All kinds of horsepower in our. The unfortunate thing is I have one vehicle in my inventory that might be close enough to being light enough to make that work. My dad's Chevelle wagon. Other than that, everything I've got weighs 4,200 pounds or more. That'd be 1.25 of your Novas, even if it's fully caged and big tires and all of that. Huge. Huge, huge, huge. The Muffin Man. Well, thank you, Cyclone. I just saw you say that was awesome. I'm just a gearhead. But thank you, though. I appreciate it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Seems I'm dropping motor oil on myself. That happens, right? No, I don't expect the motor oil to stay in the differential, but everybody wants to put grease on it. Grease slings away. So if grease is going to sling away, I might as well put actual motor oil in it. That is what this was made for. So it's not full. There's probably 1/4 of an inch sitting in there. I have problems with motorcycles. My problem with motorcycles, I fall off. And I go, spat. I have real bad ears, so I can't do that. I tend to fall off. I really, really wish I had pictures I could show you guys of my house when I was growing up. But if you've ever listened to Titus explain The redneck house. Every house in the neighborhood has it, or every neighborhood has at least one house that has cars lined up in the driveway, including Chevelle sitting in the yard. And this is the one that brings the property values down. If you do not recognize this house, you live in this house. I lived in that house. I'm actually really glad I did, though. I learned far more there than the average person. Hobby stock. That's like those. That was the name of the slot car or the stock cars you were running. Yeah. Yeah. My mom never understood it, but every time her Mustang needed something, it was my dad or I who had to fix it. And then she wasn't all that upset I became a tomboy. And she was rather happy that I did such. It's Vortex, not bad. So I'll say one thing. If you've never driven an on-road car, get a Vortex. Because you can walk stuff, you run it into things, and because most of the stuff's plastic, it tends to just flex. Is it a great race car? It's heavy. So, no, it's not the greatest of race cars because it's so heavy. But it takes the abuse. So, if you want a Vortex or you want an on-road car that you can play around with and not have to worry about killing it the first time you run it into something, this is a really good option. They don't handle all that bad. So, mine is not brushed. I have it set up to run USGT because I like Dodge Vipers. And they won't let you run the Dodge Viper body in the regular sedan class. You have to run it in USGT because that's what the body is legal for. So I run it in USGT. And USGT runs a... It's easier to see on my phone if I've got it right. It runs a 21.5. This one is a Team Scream. And it's geared to the moon, basically. This is a 35 tooth pinion, and then that's a 55 tooth pinion or spur gear. So almost 1-to-1. And the motor plate has a little bit of room. I could probably put a 40-tooth pinion. 40-tooth pinion and a 55-tooth spur gear. That's almost 1-to-1. Yes, Cyclone. Yes, everybody make sure their kids at least know how to change their own tire when they're on the side of the road. My son is going through auto shop classes in his college. And then my daughter would hang out in auto shop club. So, yeah, it's a lot of gears. And they're 64 pitch, or they're 48 pitch, I mean. And a lot of the on-road guys, they actually run 64 pitch. And ideally, with their $700 race cars, I'm not buying a $700 race car. With their $700 race car, they have them geared almost 2-to-1 total at the tire. The gearing in the rear end here is 2-to-1. So it's not lightning fast. I mean, you got to remember it's a Traxxas. It's a race car designed by people who have gotten stuck in bashing. They used to be national champions off-road. I used to actually have a national championship level race truck. And they gave it all up because they were making more money off the ready-to-runs. Seeing as I bought a Stampede, I guess I didn't help with that. Although mine came with a manual speed control and a clear body. It wasn't exactly what you'd call plug the battery in and go. So. But that's also where my dad and I learned you don't want to use car paint on an RC car body. If you do, it's going to shrivel the body. We learned that the hard way. Should just pour some in the cap. That would make sense. Hi, Nitro. Sup? Don't know if you're scary. So I hear. Rumors, just rumors. I'm wasting valuable motor oil. I didn't mean to just skip out of Sherry's room, but I went to set up the live, and next thing I know, it kicked me completely out of all of that stuff. Let's put that away before I drown my sorrows in it. I wish I worked afternoon. Like 7:15 in the morning Thursday. I just got done doing a 7:15 today. Get tomorrow off to work Friday. Although I'm part-time, so I really wish they'd just give me 5 days full-time. That would be great. But there's an extremely big difference between retail and, yeah. Yeah, John, I pretty much am the female dog on call for there. They'll give me a certain amount of hours for part-time and such, but anyone calls off or anything, I get called in. So, big old machinery parts. That means it's big old machinery parts that are actually made to be worked on as opposed to tossed away. Sounds like a good thing. So, now I figure out what my next wrong move is. Definitely better to have a little toe in the back than not have any at all. And camber-wise, the camber almost straight up and down. So these are going to get put in up front. New stuff is always pain in the ass. Very few things I've encountered post 97, like 1997, manufacturing seemed to just go. And everything started to just kind of turn to crud. I don't know why. It seems like they kind of pre-planned it. We're gonna make all this stuff fail. Just because. Yeah, when everything went to overseas, it definitely went downhill. Give you an idea real quick. 70 tooth I don't approve of the metric system. 70 tooth is 1 1/4, 1.5. 70 tooth is 1.5. That's the biggest spur gear I can put on it. This is what I'm running now. 55 tooth. About 1 1/4. Welcome back, Ryan. Yeah. So gearing wise, that's how that worked. Tear it down. Took my oil pan with it. There we go. When you've been in the hobby since 1996, you tend to accumulate your screws. I've lost way more than I have in here. I'll tell you that much. I keep hearing my back pop. Tell you what, I'm definitely not in a hurry to be drug out on this back surgery. You been listening in the background? Eavesdropping? Great, all I need is 4 more of those. It's going into plastic, so I guess thread pitch and stuff doesn't really matter. No, I didn't buy screws because why buy screws? Look at how many I have. I do wish I could find an end that was a Y for the front. That would be very nice. Thank you, Hot Rod. I am very much hoping that that back surgery goes well, and then I'll be able to do a lot more things, but the hazards and downsides of forgetting you're eventually going to get old. Eventually you'll get old. When you do, things like your back tend to say they want to go out of warranty. Fine, cat. He does not want to make a cameo. Yeah, big block cylinder heads are heavy. Especially when you think you're all tough and almighty and you're a girl, so you have to show off to the guys that you're just as strong, and you pick them up straight up. Then you get old. And something none of you in this chat can say. When you have 2 kids, you have to cut your abdomen open to do it. You lose all those muscles too. Your back suffers. It gets next to impossible. But I will prevail. If not, maybe we'll hold a charity session, take all my RC stuff and sell it for the vets. Alright, 4 screws the same length. How long did that take? Should have been looking for the other screws I'm gonna need to. Yeah, much too young to feel this damn old. I get it. How do you figure that works? There's threads on both ends of that. And that one is completely threaded in on one side and not completely threaded in on the other. Lovely. It's a Traxxas part, so like I said, I've been dealing with Traxxas stuff since 1996. I remember before the slipper clutch was on the cars. Half. One. Half. One. That's the wrong way. Half. One. Half. One. I'm comparing them like they were going to be the same size in the first place. Traxxas. Well, yeah. that is when you know you're an RC person. Or even a real car person, especially. Because you have a set of calipers sitting in your drawer. I thought everybody had a set of these. Yeah, they're only like maybe a thousandth off. I'm not gonna. There's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to get that closer than that. You can't really beat Harbor Freight. You're right. I have a set of those box ratchet that they would come in colors, just like my tools come in colors here. That I've had since I bought my El Camino in 2001. They still work. I've never had to go swap them out. So I was impressed. Still am. That's pretty darn impressive. Also, little wire cutters. You guys ever need little wire cutters or like little model cutters and clippers and stuff like that? Burlington Coat Factory. A set of cuticle nippers. They're like $4, I think it is. They work great. I would definitely recommend it because they're cheap enough. Okay. Let's do it like this so I can get less oil on me. Movement at the axle. Back and forth without. It is still dripping on me, of course. Of course. And with it on there, like nothing. It doesn't move at all. Perhaps there's a little camber in it, but that's fine. That'll all heal. Is the stream buffering bad for anybody else or just my phone that's doing it? Tell you what. I'll just make it to where I'm only watching it on my live. That might actually help a bit. So yeah, that might help a bit. Now my phone's not trying to run the stream and watch everything. So all that finely, precisely weighed amount of oil I had in this, I just got all over myself. Figures. Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen at some point. I'm using the hotspot from my phone. Albeit it's tethered, so it thinks it's a modem, but it's still gonna act up if I have it doing two different things at once. Noticing now that I probably should have put those sway bars on before I put these on. I'm probably gonna have to take them right back off. Yeah, it doesn't have, it's an on-road car, so it doesn't have a whole lot of up and down travel. What I caught. Say hi. Hey, Bash. It's up here. Up. So much do you think you're a dog, cat? Destruction. How to destroy your car in 22 easy steps. An instruction manual for Traxxas that has taught me something. Position of the sway bar link on the bar. Further out, softer. Further in, firmer. I didn't know that. He doesn't want to be lap cat. See, that's funny. When he was this big, he would lay on me all the time. Then he got to be the size of a small horse. And now he doesn't want to lay on my lap at all unless I'm playing my video game. And then he's perfectly content to sit on my lap. So. And Nitro dropped out. I'd expect that if I was hosting a stream with all of us in it, but honestly, otherwise I wouldn't. Front sway bar installation. I'm looking at the rear, so we're going to completely skip over that part. Yeah, what do I need those for anyway? Just a swipe. Sorry, headphone users. I didn't mean for that to happen. Thank you, big kitty. Big, nice kitty. He can be nice. He can also be a little bitey when he wants to be. You don't suppose chrome means front and black means rear or something along those lines, do you? Because there are different angles. Silver rear sway bar. But again, it's not really telling me what the shape is. I guess it's like, well, does it fit? Yeah, then that was for that side. Okay. Thank you, Hot Rod. I try to be good people. So, maybe you can see the problem. Maybe not. That the sway bar now hits the links that I put in here to keep everything from moving around. Doesn't that just figure? And the links. Well, let me put a side together and see how bad it is. Right rear, left rear. These face forward. like so. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. And frankly, I'd rather be in the middle with you guys and like have to read all this and laugh and all that than being stuck at work with all those clowns and jokers. Trust me, if I get a choice, that's the choice I'm making. I do not at all feel that bad for being stuck here. No, but I get the feeling I'm gonna need that later. Yeah, anything can be better than work. Well, it's kind of why I was trying to work on cars, sell car parts, because it originally, when I worked at O'Reilly's many moons ago, it didn't really feel like work. Now it feels like work. They just want me to sell rags with everything and those stupid little air fresheners. Okay, note to self, rear links are longer than front. Rear links are longer than front. That's gonna clear. Be damned. So, soda. Front. Here. Yeah, don't feel bad. I grew up in shop class. So, yeah, I didn't expect that to clear over that at all. Really, 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 with the sway bar and the links and everything, I was expecting to have to use surgical methods. Oops. I'm gonna. Yeah, if I end up on a live stream tomorrow, you guys can laugh at me in person. Laugh with me in person. Either way, both works, right? The rotor, yeah. I bet with a fifth scale, you need that sucker a lot. Yeah. 'Tis the struggle, that of the RC person. First time I told my track owner, Jim, I need to Need to use your Dremel because I need to put a sway bar on the back of my Stampede. He was just like, what the f you doing? Fine, if you won't laugh at me, laugh with me when I make a mistake. Because I'll be laughing at myself. See, I keep dropping stuff as it is. Yeah. I can laugh at myself. What are you going to do with your life if you just get all agitated and irritated with yourself or everything else around you? What's that going to lead to? You're not going to have fun. You're going to be constantly irritated at everything. That's no fun. I can't go on. I can't live a life like that. I've had stuff that, like, literally stuff that I can't really put on YouTube that has happened to me. That I suppose if I was a comedian and actually getting paid to share all that, then maybe, but yeah, exactly. And I don't want to be that. I'm not interested in being that uptight, that worried. I can't do that. Just it would drive me absolutely mental. Okay, that should be directly above. So, are these fronts? Great. Neither one of those seem to be bent correct. What do I expect from tracks? This is why all the sway bars on my other cars are either A. On the other hand, I have options for clearance. What's your clearance, Clarence? And your Victor. One of those two. Do I want a fifth scale? Sure, but like I also want to put a 427 in my Chevelle. Priorities. I haven't even given a consideration. I will say a Raminator looks like a lot of fun to screw with people. I mean, come on, tires like that. I'm setting up a trailer hitch though, and I'm pulling my lawnmower behind it. For almost 10K, that son's a bitch gonna be working. It's not just gonna be hanging around. I got enough of them as lawn ornaments. I don't need a fifth scale to be sitting around. Yeah, Raminator, go big or go home. It's either that or a fifth scale on-road car. The problem is, where are you going to find somewhere to run a fifth scale on-road car? It's nice and flat. And that you can find friends to run with. That would be nice. I probably should have just screwed these in before. Yeah, very big parking lot. A very big flat parking lot. Yeah, I can stream it. I mean, now that I can live stream and all. My biggest problem is the only thing I have to live stream with is my phone. So see, now there's another problem. I already have 25, technically, 25 RC cars already. A drone. 2 of those 25 are boat. I want to get one of those new mini low-C buggies. And most of them are pop art sitting in a container. Which I really wish I could figure out how to fix that. It's too tight. Way too tight. Okay. That's too loose. It's Lucy. I'm home. So 20 plus RC cars. Because I've sold some over the years. And 10 full-size cars and a trailer. At that rate, I'm never going to have any money. Those are nice and solid. Oh, nut. It's a happy drug to have, yes. And if you have a wee bit of competitional spirit in you like I do, you end up wanting to race all of those. It can definitely get pricey. How does he do such great stunts with such little feet? Hey, just did it on the other side. Come on, figure it out. There we go. Okay, so if you're ever doing this on your own Ford Tech, remember to point the screws towards the back of the chassis, towards the diffuser, because otherwise you'll never be able to get that done. For the sake of argument, I'm going to align the bar with the end of this bar stud here as a starting point. When you're tightening it up, I mean, everybody here probably already knows, but when you're tightening up, don't let the sway bar bend too much. There it goes again, dripping oil over me, because I'm a fool. Yeah, it's all addicting, so I have real cars, RC cars, fishing, Gran Turismo, I do collect rocks, but I'm not that over deep end. There's certain people. Do you ever get the feeling you put the wrong bar? They don't tell you what shape the bar is. Front's gotta be the wider ones. Yeah, there's oil in it. There's still oil in it, but Not as much as I like to have in there, I think. Visit Talk Your Head Off, I think, started like a half hour, an hour ago. Maybe longer than that. Oh well. Hope you guys weren't planning on being in there. But I do appreciate you hanging out. I mean, I'm doing stuff what equates to watching paint or watching somebody spill oil over themselves. Good thing it's fresh. Yeah, but it's new oil. It's fine. On the other hand, now that everything is all set up, it just goes in and out. Okay. These ones hit a little. Not bad though. BC Family Blogs. I guess I'm good. I don't know what that is. I know what that is, but like I don't think I've ever gone on their stream. The other day in the live stream, somebody was saying I should be using power tools for all kinds of things. And I'm like, well, there are certain things you just can't use power tools for. This is one of them. Program note. If you're going to use these as a mod, you're not really going to be able to use the rear sway bar to its full capacity. And you're pretty well going to be stuck in the center. But then you're going to be limited and not have a front silver one available. Usually you want a bigger bar up front anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But program note. I'm not missing anything from BS. IRC84. I saw you were live earlier. Hope I didn't steal anybody. I wasn't trying to steal anybody, but I may as well stream it if I'm playing. So. When you're looking for that folder on your phone that you know you have, so earlier, how did you get started in RC cars? There's a picture of me with one of my first double X's. I believe that is my first double X. That was after they moved to Huntington Beach. We had the privilege of taking and going to the monster trucks. You might just be able to see my Stampede. That is pretty much the way I used to race it. Big ugly bumper, gravedigger body, Terra tires. I would race it with the Terra tires. There's a whole big group of us that got to go. So, I've had fun. I've had fun with RCs. It had a Nomad body for a while. So yeah, picture that doing a double with a 27 turn stock motor with the Terra tires. It's something when you can get a Stampede to clear the doubles with just a 27 turn motor. So I got real good at that. Making the car that's not supposed to work really well. It was actually quite a bit of fun. Nobody knew what to make of it. So needless to say, people at the RC track either really liked me or really hated me. I didn't mind it, I guess. But, so I don't know if you noticed, but in that picture of us at the backstage behind scenes at the Monster Truck Show, but I do believe Jared Tebow is in that picture. I do believe. And I used to race with Ryan Mayfield. And Cavalieri and I watched Cavalieri grow up. He started coming around. He was nothing more than a little kid. I've been on the track at the same time as Brian Kinwald and Gil Losi Jr. and pick one of them names. I've probably encountered them at some point in time. Yeah, I'm always going to have haters. I've gotten pretty used to that, and I've found out how to twist them and make them even more angry at me. Which, actually pretty darn enjoyable. If any of the mods know how to like drop links and you guys want some links dropped, I'm not against it. Go right ahead. I just don't know how to do that. I'm not sure if we all know each other already or not, so whether it make a difference. Need 3 cc's of zinc stat. Yes, doctor, coming right up. Figure we'll do this like a regular rear end. When it flows out on the ground, it's full. Must be full. There you go. Yeah, I kind of think of my lives a lot like a mix between Nitros and Lexuses. So you guys can drop links, stuff like that. As long as you guys do me the solid of trying to make sure I don't get a community guideline strike or something like that, I'm happy. I'm content. Well, that solided everything right up. Yeah, maybe it's a little too full now. It's alright. Worst you can do is eco all over the place. I believe I'm subbed to everybody in the chat right now. Says there's only 5 watching right now, so I believe I've subbed to all you guys. Because I didn't share the link out, really. So since I didn't share the link out, you guys kind of had to know I was here. Let's hope it's not so stiff the shocks are useless. Of course, now what I have to worry about is chassis flex. Taking all the flex out of the suspension. Ideally, if I can get this thing to hook up on the track unprepped with all the dust and crap on it, if I can get it to do that, then I should be able to get it to hook up on the prep track like it's on rails. Where I lay the rails down, that's a different story completely, isn't it? Thank you, Ryan. I'm trying to pay attention to you guys. Like I said, I will be working on getting it set up so that there's a Zoom or Stream Yard or something like that. If I run a Stream Yard, I guess maybe I'll get together with Nitro or something and get some tips from him how to run it. I've used Zoom before, and that's partly why I don't want to. I haven't had any luck with Zoom. Well, if he's an a-hole, I'm the elbow. Should have one of each, remember? And as long as he's okay with it, fine. I don't have my prescribed allotment of those. So, yeah, exactly. Zoom is a bit of a pain. So it's either StreamYard or I don't know why YouTube should just let that occur. Allow such and such channel to join. That would make things easier. It makes sense. That is making a heck of a mess on my table. It's okay, guys. I'm a glutton for self-punishment like that. Alright, I've gotten the consensus that most people use StreamYard or StreamYard. I want to say Tank uses something different too. It's not StreamYard. And it's not Zoom. He uses something completely different, I think. So I just got to get together with a few people and trying to get a consensus for what to run. Yeah, I really don't think I need an 87-foot long one in there. I really don't. I can find one much smaller to put through there. He does use them. I should know that since I've been on his lives. But I've also been on nitros and... So, what's OBS? I mean, I know a car term for OBS, but I'm sure it's not the same. Probably some sort of Oracle program, right? I would bet. It's similar to StreamYard. There was a point in time in my life where I had to memorize a lot of all that. Some other one like Blue something or other that I really hate to. Yeah, maybe that's why there's a long one in there. Bye, RC. Take care. Magna Ball. Never leave home without one. Don't ask me where those came from. Literally, I found them on the floor when I was building at Hobbytown. Literally how I found them. All stuck to the old display cases. I do need to do something about the lighting because there's a lot of glare. Maybe a second light over here just to kind of backdrop it, but it'd have to be up top. That is an oil-soaked rag cat. Don't really need any of it. It's just plastic. Plop. And just like that, it's in. So how many of these use that? Okay. Don't want to, forget the motor cover, because forget the gear cover and it's just going to let stuff flow right in. Not that that gear cover did much ever to actually stop it. Good to know. $30 people on the. I know when there's 8, like 8 on tanks panel, it gets stupid. You all talk over the top of each other. It just gets stupid. So I don't know if I would do 30 people. There's a news network that I'm part of that's going to be doing a group thing this coming weekend. I'll see what they use. Oh yeah, that's my lower back is going to get a 360 lumbar fusion done to it. Lower lumbar fusion. So they are literally going to be taking 2 of my vertebrae and bolting them together. So it will be a toss-up. Will I have more titanium in me? Or will I have more titanium in my RC car stuff? Well, yours is in the neck. Yeah, I have scoliosis, so, and it's a reverse S, so both ways. So I would not be surprised if when I turn 60, I have to get yet another fusion done somewhere. Guess it's just like an old car truck chassis. At some point you gotta weld up the cracks. Yeah, they're gonna be bolting me together. Typically speaking, that surgery is 2 parts. So usually They go in through the front. And they clear all the old stuff out. Send you home. And then a week later, they bring you back in and they start working on your back, from your back. But I have a medical condition where it's a much higher risk to put me under anesthesia. So they've opted, instead of putting me under anesthesia twice in a row, they're going to do this whole procedure in one shot. Which, by the way, increases your risks of not coming off the operating table. So they're going to start from my stomach, go in there, clean everything out, carefully go around all the blood vessels and all the stuff that's in there. And then they're going to flip me over, grab me like a fish, and start putting all the pins and such in. And then, with any luck, the bone graft will grow right, and everything will be all locked solid. So remember when I was joking earlier, hey, if I don't make it out of the surgery, we'll have an auction for the veterans? Better laugh about certain things than be serious about them. I mean, I can't do a whole lot right now. Like, up here, I'm still 26. I want to go out. I want to go grab those car parts. Go put them on. Go get my hot rods running. Go do stuff. Soon as I go to pick something up, or if I've been in a chair too long, like, as soon as I get up from here, I'm gonna be sore. Like, it hurts. It hurts to the point where I'm taking handfuls of over-the-counter pain pills, which isn't good for your liver, kidneys, stomach, anything like that. So, if you fix it, then to me, yeah, it's worth a shot. I mean, if we're counting 9 lives, I guess I'm only to 5, so yeah, Cyclone's in the same boat as me. So, do you prefer left side of the boat or right side? Because we're rowing upstream. We're both on the same boat. So, it only took me 2.5 hours to do one end of the car. Never said I was quick. In this part, I'm going to have to make a lot more pieces. I should address that. There's an awful lot of screws in there. And I get the feeling, because I didn't want to spill oil on myself, I didn't do the bottom screws. It is a risk. I mean, it is a risk, but I don't know how. I can't speak for Cyclone, okay? But this is my spine and spinal cord, and the bottom part of my spine is beginning to slip forward. And it's pinching some of the nerves, And if I don't do something about it, eventually this is just gonna, and then what? So, see, I'm employed, Cyclone. I can't, even though I'm in California, I can't. So, I'm more than a little stuck. Which is why I take handfuls of painkiller. And then they're telling me I need to stop that a week before the surgery. And the surgery is the 15th. So for a week, I'm going to be unhappy, to put it mildly. And then I go in for that surgery. And I mean, I know they'll give me the good stuff for after the surgery, but just have to do what you have to do. Yeah, it's only going to get worse. So since it's only going to get worse, I should do something about it. Otherwise, if it wasn't going to get worse, believe me, I would just be like, I'm good. 3 surgeries within my life, not including this one coming up. I'm good. I've had my fair share of being cut open, but if I'm going to topple like a small stick, that's not going to be good. So yeah, I didn't think of when I take this to work, I can't put it in my backpack anymore and just carry it around. It's gonna leak oil like the Exxon de Valdez. The pain is bad enough now. I'm looking forward to surgery. That's impressive, you know? When you're looking forward to them cutting you open and putting you together with a bunch of titanium. Half of me wants to take couple of titanium tie rods with me when I go to check in to do the surgery. So I can ask them, hey, can I get a picture with the hardware before you put it in me? Set those titaniums down and pose that question on Facebook or whatever. Because, yeah, it's going to be titanium hardware. How am I going to move the raminator? That's very simple. God created ramps for a reason. I'm going to drive that thing up. And if that doesn't work, I'll get a winch. And if that doesn't work, I have to have an engine hoist to work on cars anyway. So I'll just plop. Even without the back surgery, I'm not picking the day to have a raminator up. Nope. That's how I got all screwed up in the first place. Well, I shouldn't blame it all on cars. My brother did jump on my back a few times. I guess technically I could have used shorter screws. Oh, whatever. Yeah, I gotta get an engine hoist to do the stuff for the big cars, so the fact that the Raminator is gonna weigh 125 pounds, give or take, as a guess. I'll just strap a couple ratchet straps under the axle and pick it up. £80? Lighter than I thought it was. That probably makes it lighter than the Gravedigger Power Wheels I got my kid. My little one when they were 3. Almost a little more than 20 years ago. There's all hair, gray hair. When you get old, anyone in here who's not old, you have to take pictures to make sure you remember which order your wires went in. Just like I probably should have took notes where all the screws came from. Orange, yellow, and blue. All nicely wrapped up to cut down on the radio interference, even though it shouldn't have radio interference because it's 3-phase, which makes it AC, so it shouldn't have any because it already has a pulse. Thump, thump, thump. take pictures, write it down. At work, I have a notebook. Sometimes I don't use the notebook. Depends on how patient they are. If they're patient enough to let me get my notebook out of my back pocket, then fine. If they're not, I just write it on my hand. So, that's the back half of the car now. It'll be 5 in the morning for some of you if you're on the East Coast. And 1:30 in the morning or so if I did that front one. Oh, I might save that for mañana. Quick survey says the people in here when I'm on the Pacific Coast. So, about when would you guys want to see that live stream? Because I'm supposed to have all of tomorrow off. So, I don't know who works when to when. But if I can get an idea of who's here, because who's stayed, then I'll start working some lives around those hours. Part of the other reason why I'm waiting till tomorrow, these are steering pieces, so maybe I'll put those on. I don't know. I've got all the bearings and everything already. Ryan's in the same time zone. There's 4 of you in here. Even though it's only showing me Cyclone, Hot Rod, and Ryan, I guess it's counting me. There's 3 of you guys in here. Nine or 10 my time for Hot Rod. So you guys are just night owls, huh? Because I do want to cater to you guys as well. I mean, you've been here since day one, basically. Yeah, that's right. You're a truck driver like my husband. Okay. Yeah. But I do want to cater to you guys. We all know that the whole, you have to try and work in some daylight hours to get the non-subscribers to come in and look. Try and pick up some more people. That was only at like 85, and it's not. I'm not trying to make YouTube the monetary goal. but I went from 85 to 87. So I hate smartphones. Isn't it supposed to tell you who's subbed to you? Yeah, well, I should probably figure all that out. But yeah, it's supposed to be 103 tomorrow, so probably not going out and racing. So, yeah. I'm gonna save the rest of this nightmare. Not a nightmare, I actually enjoy doing it, so I don't know. But I'm gonna save the rest of this for tomorrow. I call it a night on YouTube and jump over to my PlayStation and see if I can get some mileage before they remove all the paint chips I want. So, alright guys, almost 2 hours and 45 minutes. I appreciate you guys being in here. Most of you have been here. You guys that are still here have been here the whole time. So, thank you very much. I will see you guys later. I will have to finish this, so I will be going live tomorrow at some point. So, thank you. Take care. Drive safe. No texting and driving. All right, guys. Take care. Bye.